campus. How we are carrying out from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, that's a one.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Campus Connection. So happy to have each and every one of you here with us this evening, or with me rather. As you can see, I'm riding solo. My name is Jonathan Fletcher, and I'll be taking you through the show this evening. And I just want to express how grateful we are that you have taken the time out to be with us this evening here inside the show. And of course, Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. And we're going to take a word from our sponsors.
See how my adult face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me have no birth paper nor an ID. Them have all of my documents then. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strapped up in a price.
There you have it, a quick word from our sponsors, the Ministry of National Security and Peace, the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign. As I said, I'm riding solo this evening, so I really wanted to keep my company as we explore the topic science and technology. That's what we're focusing on inside the show. And I want you to interact and be with me throughout the show. Of course, you can send a WhatsApp message at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Or you can comment on the live stream. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And we're live on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And this evening, we are going to be having quite a packed show. First, we'll have, of course, our education news and bulletin. Then our honor roll with Damarie Sewell, Region 6 Vice President of the National Secondary Students Council and student at the St. Jago High School. Then we go straight into our I Chose Christ feature with Sharika Williams, Assistant Prayer Coordinator of the UA UCCF. And then our main discussion, science and technology, the impact of science and technology on how it shapes young people to learn, work, and live. That is super important as we explore what is happening in our, lives today. There are a lot of things that are changing, and we'll be joined by Miss Cavell Hilton from the STEM Builders Learning Hub Limited and Dr. Chara Watson, Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council, as they share how youth can upskill and stay ahead. So right about now, we're going straight into our our education news and bulletin, and this will be done by our campus consultant, Camille Lawrence.
Education news and bulletins for Tuesday, November 18, 2025. Education Ministry to engage multilateral partners to develop building standards for schools. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is engaging multilateral partners to craft robust standards that will guide the development of more climate-resilient schools in the country. Portfolio Minister, Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon, provided an update during a press conference at Jamaica House on November 13. More than 600 of the island's schools were impacted following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Morris Dixon stated some of the schools repaired last year after the passage of Hurricane Beryl are the same schools in need of repair after Hurricane Melissa. She stated it now raises questions about the quality of work that would have been done, and it also raises other questions about standards and the standards of our schools. Morris Dixon said she has asked Jamaica's multilateral partners to work with the government to review school building standards and emphasized that a long-term solution must include designing stronger, more resilient infrastructure that can withstand increasingly frequent and intense storms. William Knibb High looking at shift system to resume learning. William Knibb Memorial High School is looking at implementing a shift system as a temporary measure to get students back into classes following significant damage to the school plant from Hurricane Melissa. Principal of the Trelawney-based institution, Linvern Wright, informed that 7 buildings on the compound sustained damage, with 6 being severely impacted, including loss of roof. He noted that the immediate priorities are to ensure student safety, restore basic utilities, and establish a feasible path back to learning. He pointed out that the school will begin with a shift system to minimize crowding, conserve water, and maximize the usable space available. Principal Wright said that the plan is to resume some instruction in about 2 weeks, provided that the necessary utilities are in place and the safety checks are done. He added that full capacity depends on a stable and safe environment for both students and staff. And now for the bulletins. Love 101 FM, the family station, is calling on Jamaica to stand together. Families across our island have been affected by Hurricane Melissa, and many are in urgent need of your support. You can make a difference. Your donations can include canned food, bottled water, sanitary napkins, baby and adult diapers, tarpaulins, and toiletries such as soaps, tissue, and toothpaste. Cash donations can be made to the account of National Religious Media Commission, account number 212-372-900 at the National Commercial Bank Oxford Place branch, branch code 021. You may also make cash donations at our office at 81 Hagley Park Road or on our website at love101.org. Together, let's rebuild hope with Love 101 FM, the family station. Love 101 FM presents Season Splendor 2025. Please note, due to the damages from Hurricane Melissa, the Montego Bay leg is postponed until further notice. However, the Kingston event is still on, now with a special benefit concert. Join us on Saturday, December 20 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Emancipation Park. Vendor applications remain open at love101.org/seasons splendor. Thank you for your understanding and support. That's Season Splendor 2025, Love 101 FM, the family station. That's the education news and bulletins for Campus Connection. I am Camille Lawrence.
All right. Thank you so much, Camille, for bringing us our education news and bulletin. Trust and hope that you would have taken the time out to make a note of all the things that we have coming up for you, and of course for you to stay tuned to everything that is happening both on campus and off campus. We want to hear from you. Do you think Jamaica should be investing more resources in the area of science and technology? That's the question we want you to answer. Remember, you can send your WhatsApp message 876-997-3125. 997-3125. WhatsApp message to us, or you can comment on the live stream. We are live right now at Love 101 FM Jamaica on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. So you can send your responses to the question, do you think Jamaica should be investing resources in the area of science and technology? And remember, I said you can, of course, send your, your shout outs, anything you want to send, if you want to hail us up here on the page on Love 101, feel free to do so. We're going straight into our honor roll segment. We have a very promising young man, Damari Sewell. He is a Region 6 Vice President of the National Secondary Students Council and a student at the St. Jago High School. He is literally guided by the mantra, leadership is service and service is impact. He is committed to empowering youth through advocacy, education, and innovation. Boy, when I tell you this young man is very outstanding, just think about the fact that he is academically focused on sociology, history, and law, and has earned 9 CSEC subjects along with City and Guilds certification. Boy, I am so excited and ready to talk to this promising young man. Sir Sewell, greetings.
Greetings, sir. Good afternoon.
All right, all right. Welcome to Campus Connection. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us. But let's get straight into it. You are a student of St. Jago. All the persons that I know who attend St. Jago or they attended St. Jago, they are very proud. What you call them again? Ravenites? I don't remember the name that you call yourselves. Is that correct?
Ravens.
Ravens. Yes. But how has your experience been since being at St. Jago?
So my experience so far, it's been very good. St. Jago is the place to be. Definitely, it's definitely a place to be. Number one school in St. Catherine, the number one school in Jamaica. Yeah, St. Jago number one always. So it's a very good experience. St. Jago is a very inclusive school, and so I really hope that any one of you, when you get the time, you can stop by at St. Jago, speak with our principal, Mrs. Colette Fachada Price. She is a very, very, very welcoming person. So I really hope you get to experience the St. Jago life and just come for a day and really see what St. Jago is about.
Wow, love that. Big promotion there for St. Jago High School. But let's focus on you, Damari, for a second. How do you balance all that you do, the academics, the student leadership, the extracurricular activities? Is balance even real? How do you manage with everything that you have going on?
Could you repeat, sir? I didn't get that.
No, I was asking, how do you manage with everything that is going on? Your academics, your extracurricular activities, student leadership, stuff like that.
Mr. Fletcher?
Are you hearing me? Okay, it seems as if we're having a bit of technical difficulties. We're going to check on the connection with Damari and then possibly come back to his interview here inside Honor Roll on the family station Love 101. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Campus Connection after these messages.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strapped up in a price. We see yeah. I want to go on bank campus. Young people are going hard bank campus. Come on, tell me what. Campus Connection.
See all my other face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents then. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
All roads lead to New Budget Supplies from now until Christmas.
Yes, sir.
We've got zinc, lumber, tarpaulins, farm ply, everything you need to rebuild.
Hallelujah.
Big discounts on UPPVC windows, paints, decorative hardboard, truss ply, and lots more.
Everything,
open
man,
every
yeah.
Sunday until Christmas. New Budget Supplies, 195 Hagley Park Road.
Man, no
Call
way.
9234560 or WhatsApp 581-6165.
Give me my
Remember
phone.
the name New Budget Supplies, always the best prices.
We know you're making every dollar work harder, choosing carefully, buying what you need, and making it stretch as far as you can. That's why Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. It's our way of helping you sweeten moments together, share more meals, and take care of the people you love. Make a good move with 20% savings from Grace. Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets.
The time that Grace could move is
5:45.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a Christ.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the Family Station, Love 101, proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. If you're just joining us, we are in our honor roll segment. We're talking to Damari Sewell, Region 6 Vice President of the National Secondary Students Council and student at St. Diego High School. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I am, Mr. Fletcher. I apologize
Awesome.
about that.
Not a problem, not a problem. So I was asking before the break, how do you manage with everything that you have going on, you know, with your schoolwork, extracurricular activities, student leadership, all of that?
Okay, so I personally create a timetable. So this timetable basically helps me to navigate and delegate my tasks to specific days. So for example, on Mondays, I know that I have to focus on a club or I have to study in the evenings. So it's really about delegating your tasks and how to, if you have a team, how to really work with your team. And then if you have to study enough, because you know we're in school, so we have to study, you have to create that your study timetable and say, okay, I'm going to study for 1, 2, 3 hours, just so that you are on top of everything. You're on top. In student leadership is a very demanding thing. So you have to be ready, you have to be prepared. Anything can happen. So you just have to say, okay, I am going to do this. It's time for student leadership. As the regional vice president, I set a specific time to say, okay, it's time for students council. It's time to really advocate, to really check up and ensure that everything is okay. So really, time management is everything. And once you master the art of time management, then everything is okay.
And as a very busy person, yeah, man, thank you. As a very busy person, you would have realized that, you know, in order to do all of this, you need support. What is your support system like?
Okay, so my support system, I have my parents, of course. Here at NSSC, I have my nationals. I also have my regional executives. I really lean on my regional executives because I think we've created that bond where we can really go to each other and communicate with each other and say, okay, I need help with this, I need help with that. You know, you have your parents is your biggest support system. So they will help you with majority of the tasks that I have. They help with majority of the tasks that I have. For example, if I want to go somewhere, they will take me there. If I need anything, they will assist. So my support system is good. And it's really a good thing to have the support from your parents and to have the support of your friends, because your friends can also help you with everything, any and everything that you have going on.
Love that, love that, love that. And when you think of the future, what are some of the, you know, future goals that you have? What can we look forward to from Damari? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Mr. Fisher. Could you repeat the last part?
Yes. What are some of the future goals that you have? What can we look forward to from Damari? All right. Seems as if we're okay.
Jamaica or anyone. Yes, so Jamaica or anyone overseas can really expect a great corporate lawyer from myself. I'm going to be a great corporate lawyer. I've already set out my path to become a corporate lawyer. For those for us who don't know what a corporate lawyer does, corporate law is basically about giving advice and representing companies. And so we really manage the finances and ensure that everything is okay, everything legally is okay with a company. And so from the Maris, we can expect a great corporate lawyer because no one or no company will be able to create something or just push a legal matter aside and think they can just push over the marriage. Well, no, definitely not.
Love that, love that, love that. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Damari Sewell, future corporate lawyer, but currently he is the Region 6 Vice President of the National Secondary Students Council and a student at the St. Diego High School. Damari, we want to wish you all the best for the future. We are very, very proud of all the things that you have accomplished so far, and we're really looking forward to you, accomplishing even more. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our honor roll segment here inside the family station Love 101. You are tuned into Campus Connection, proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign, and that is the campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. We're going to go straight into our Toast Christ speech, and this will be done by Sharika Williams, Assistant Prayer Coordinator of UAUCF.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharika Williams and I am a second-year marketing student at UWI-Mona. God snatched me from I was young. I grew up in a Christian home. However, I personally experienced and encountered God for myself. And I have seen the tremendous ways in which He guides and communicates to me through His Holy Spirit, dreams, visions, people, and so on. Having a relationship with Christ is the best decision I have ever made. And I am trusting God as He is ordaining my footsteps and writing my story. 3 ways in which God transformed me is by 1, renewing my mind, granting me understanding. 2, teaching me that I don't need to worry about anything. And last but not least, by transforming and developing my character, renewing my mind. So I'm an optimistic individual. I try to find the light, positivity, or a lesson in things. However, I come to realize that true fulfillment, it doesn't come from the world, but rather through Christ. The things of this world are temporary and normalizes sin and makes sin seem right and righteous things seem wrong or frowned upon. For no matter what we turn to, whether music, people, drugs, always remember true restoration and peace comes from Christ. A scripture I meditate upon that helps me with my walk in Christ is Matthew 16, verse 26. It says, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul?" So that's something for us to really meditate upon. Even with me, sometimes I will feel down or heavy-hearted out the blue. But when I go down upon my knees and pray, I can feel a shift in the atmosphere. And even within myself, I started feeling light and feel the difference. I am reminded of Matthew 11, verse 28, that says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." So this reminds us that we can rest assured in Christ. I used to love worry up myself about the simplest of things. I remember I was even worried how my tuition was going to be covered, but Christ came through for me. Glory be to God. He said in Matthew 6, verse 24, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow already have its own worries." Even sometimes when we pray and things are being delayed, you know what this teaches me? The delay teaches me patience. And what we can learn from this is that sometimes we will want something now, but God sees what it will benefit us the most at another time. God also transformed me by developing my character more. You know, Proverbs 15, verse 1 says, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." There will be times in our lives and our Christian journey and walk with God, where people might say things that will upset us or fuel and stir up anger within us. But sometimes we can make certain things slide. The back and forth ain't worth it. It will just deplete your time and energy. I am still growing. I am still learning. I am not perfect. Everyone walk with Christ and convictions are different. But as I'm growing more in Christ, I learned that He will transform us in certain ways. Habits will change, mindsets will change, the company we surround ourselves with will change. Certain things our flesh used to crave for, God will strip it away the more we grow in Him. The old is gone, the new has come. I am happy I choose Christ. God views your heart posture. And I also learned that don't live to please people, live to please God. I choose Christ. You should too. Let Him transform you.
Beautiful, beautiful testimony there from our dear sister Sharika Williams, Assistant Prayer Coordinator of the UAUCCF. If you want to share your testimony here on Campus Connection, you can send your testimony audio to Love101 Campus Connection at gmail.com. That's Love101 Campus Connection at gmail.com. We are looking forward to hear from you. We have our main segment coming right up as we discuss science and technology. We'll be joined by Cavell Hilton STEM Builders Learning Hub Limited and Dr. Watson, the Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council. We want to explore the impact of science and technology because, this is very, very huge. And we want to also see how it's shaping our young people to learn, work, and live. Of course, Cavell is no stranger to Campus Connection. It's so good to see her yet again here on the show. She is a wonderful, I'd say pioneer, right? Can I use the word pioneer when describing her? Definitely. When it comes on to how children interact with STEM, a lot of things there. And of course, Dr. Watson, we're so grateful that you would have taken the time out to be here with us to really explore the different facets concerning science and technology. I'm just going to give each of you 30 seconds, a quick 30, to just introduce yourselves and use this time to make your opening remarks. Cavell, we'll start with you.
Opening remarks. Wow, I hope you can hear me.
It's a little low.
All right, are you able to hear me any better?
Yes, it's better now. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So good evening, everyone. My name is Cavell Hilton. I'm the CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub. As I said, we're sort of pioneering as it relates to STEM education in Jamaica and making it hands-on, making STEM education fun, and basically starting from as young as age 3 as it relates to STEM education in Jamaica. So we are definitely doing things different, like our birthday parties, STEM birthday parties. That's something that is not being done, like our STEM robotic kit. We don't have Jamaica actually making those. And so, yes, we're definitely doing some new things, and we're definitely getting the word out as it relates to STEM education.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Watson, your quick 30.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, thank you for having us. Jonathan, thanks for reaching out. And I'm Dr. Watson, the Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council, Jamaica's principal public body that has responsibility to both undertake scientific research that is geared towards national development, as well as to promulgate the outcomes of said research and to help the public be aware of science and technology, the role that it plays in our society, and to encourage participation from our youth in science and technology.
Love that. Love that. We have a very exciting discussion coming up, so we want you to stick and stay with us after these messages. More Campus Connection after the break.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes. Spot them, stop them, and report them.
a message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. No shadow at the dark.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
All right. Welcome back to Campus Connection here on the family station, Love 101. We are talking about science and technology, and we're joined by Cavell Hilton from STEM Builders Learning Hub Limited, and of course, Dr. Watson, the Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council. All right, science and technology, right? There are different careers that can come out of this, I would say, emerging space, roles such as data science, cybersecurity roles, robotics, cloud computing, machine learning, the use of AI, all of those things we can look into. But let's start very simple this evening. Dr. Watson, could you help me and the listeners and the viewers to understand what really is science and technology? Like, what's the simplest way that we can understand this? All right, you're muted.
Thank you for
All
that.
right, perfect.
So technology will always couple it, but we can split. And I'll start with technology. Technology is the output of science. What you use is that you have discovered, uncovered, unearthed through applying scientific process, undertaking scientific research to develop applications that will solve problems. So technology is really the product of science. So you're always trying to bring them, because you're not just doing research and exploring scientific concept and uncovering information just for doing its sake. We're doing it hopefully to advance humanity, to advance more societies, and to enable persons to live good. You see what I did there, playing on live good?
Yeah. Love that.
The science now, science speaks to specific disciplines that seeks to uncover, explore, and sometimes even manipulate natural concepts, or to understand those natural concepts that is happening. So you have the discipline of chemistry, you have biology, you have biotechnology, you have physics, you have astronomical. I'm tying up my tongue. So there are many different aspects of science, how we discover the world around us. And the output of said science is the development of technology. So that's the simplest way I can put it.
Love that. And I think I'm understanding it more based on the explanation you would have given just now. And now to you, Cavell, you work with children, teenagers, etc., as relates to the actual science and technology and seeing it at work. How important is science and technology, especially in the developmental stages of our children?
It's extremely important. Hope you can hear me well.
So yes.
Great. So it's extremely important, especially for the development of our children, because science and technology, as Dr. Watson mentioned, technology is really the application of science, and science helps us to understand how things work. So, as kids, they will be like, why is the sky blue? Why is this? Science really provides those answers, and technology provides the tools for us to be able to create and innovate and find solutions to all of those things, right? So as it relates to children, they're curious, they're creative. And so what you want to do is introduce them to that sort of technology in terms of coding and robotics, introduce them to science experiments and activities early so that they can build that sort of foundation and that love for science and develop that curiosity and that creativity that they just naturally possess, right? So it's very important because what you want to build is a workforce that is future ready, that have skills like problem solving, innovation, creativity, critical thinking. We don't want persons in the workplace who don't have these skills. And so when we're able to introduce our young people or our children to these areas of science and technology, then they're able to develop that sort of curiosity and that creativity early, build that critical thinking early, and be interested in careers that involve science. As Dr. Watson mentioned, the various career opportunities as it relates to science and the different branches of science. We want our children to have that curiosity early, have that natural interest. And I see it. I had a 2-year-old, I think he was at 4 years old in summer camp. And he was telling me, do I know about prehistoric dinosaurs? And it's just, it was fascinating because they have that natural curiosity and they really want to develop it. Yes.
Wow. Go ahead.
Havel is saying, we know young people, children are born curious. They are born to discover and uncover all the wonders of this world. And science provides a structured way through which they can do those discovery. And we're also natural innovators. We are experiencing the world together. And most of us, when we encounter a challenge, we are always thinking how we can overcome it. And it's a process of discovering how to overcome that challenge and developing some methodology or even a product. No matter how simplistic that is what really frames innovation. So it becomes very important for us to engage young people, engage the general populace as well when it comes on to applying the scientific process. And we talk about the scientific process, we're talking a methodological way of discovering, uncovering things or asking questions or finding out why things are the way they are or how something operates in order to get the kind of responses that we want or elicit the kind of change that we want. So it's important for us to inculcate that in our youth, as well as encourage those that are not so youthful to think along similar lines. Because if Jamaica is going to solve our way out of the challenges we're facing now and will face in the future, we have to have that kind of mindset, and we have to develop from very early. And also, it's never too late to develop it either. So it's not just the youth. Also, older people need to start thinking about solution, because one thing they have over the youth is experience. They have that history and have that experience that add a lot of value to finding solutions.
Absolutely. Dr. Watson, as you were speaking just now, I couldn't help but think of the emergence of AI, artificial intelligence. And I've heard and I've seen persons saying that, this generation that's coming up, the 2000s baby, the 2010s, etc., they are going to be rather lazy in their thinking because of the emergence of AI. Yeah, I see that look. Can you shed some light to a parent who may be listening, a teacher, a campus site who may be listening? Will AI make this generation lazy, or is it that it's just another step in the direction of the advancement of technology, so more tools made available to achieve more? What do you think?
They said the same thing for our generation when the internet. Remember
exactly.
And the world was going to end. We had a similar experience ourselves when the internet became this massive thing and became this accessible thing.
Yes.
AI, I believe, will enable or the next generation and present generation to do so much more, so much quicker. We're going to be seeing increase in advancement for humanity in lightning speed being enabled by AI. AI right now is not autonomous. It needs an input, just like the calculator. Remember, we used to count with sticks and on our hands. A similar kind of thing. You have to input, and if you input garbage, you're going to get garbage coming out. So we are still fundamental. We are still a part of the driving force behind the innovations and the speed at which change will be happening, being facilitated through AI. So I believe AI will further enable human development, not stagnate it, not create or stupefy us. It will enable us. And when you see what people who otherwise didn't have other opportunity, I'm speaking specific to the young lady who in 4 months was able to use AI, use her lyrics. She's good at writing, but she does not have a voice. She's not a great singer per se. I was able to create a artificial artist and went on Spotify and now is making millions of dollars in 4 months. Use AI to do that. Now this is unlocking another level of genius in that lady that would not have AI. So I see it as an opportunity, not as a threat. And it really depends on your perspective and how you use things. If you see it at doom and gloom and therefore you're fearful of it and you avoid it because it's the devil or whatever it is, then chances are you will not be able to utilize it to your advantage to help advance whatever it is that you're trying to advance. It's a powerful tool that I would encourage us to embrace, because whether we like it or not, from a personal perspective, it is here and it's not going anywhere anytime soon until the next thing come and replace it.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I remember having a conversation with somebody recently and I was, asking them if they know about dial-up internet. Because, back in the day, you couldn't be on the computer when somebody else is on a call. You'd have to wait until they, would have ended their call. And it makes me wonder about where we are now as a people, because I know a lot of people are genuinely scared. A lot of people are reserved. They're apprehensive when it comes on to the emergence of technology. But Cabell, based on where you sit and the kind of business that you're a part of, robots, let's talk about robots. Are robots taking over, right? I was watching a video recently of somewhere in China where the delivery person would put the food on the robot or in the robot, and then the robot would then go and deliver the food to the respective apartment. Are robots taking over? Should we be concerned about robots being a part of our society?
Well, I think just like AI, in terms of we have to learn how to use it responsibly, I think in the same breath, as it relates to robotics, we know the purpose of robotics is it's technology, it's a tool.
Yes.
There to make life easier, because there are things that robots can do that humans would not be able to do. They can work faster, they are more efficient, they can go into areas that would be dangerous for human beings, so they have their benefits. But of course, we know that in everything you have what good and bad. You have negatives and you have positives. And so I think as it relates to AI, robotics, coding, we just have to make sure that we have the necessary policies in place, and we definitely educate and empower our young people or citizens, really, everybody, young and old, in terms of how to use the technology that is available. But in terms of them taking over, I think there's a long way before we get there. I mean, Amazon is using a lot of robotics now.
Absolutely.
So we definitely see, where certain jobs will become redundant in a few years. 2030, the workforce will look very different from what it looks like now. So definitely that's something that we have to ensure that we, future-proof our workforce and our kids, so that when they get to that stage, we can still use their intellect and their creativity. And as Dr. Water said, rubbish in, rubbish out. So we need to ensure that, they're empowered and educated so they can put in the correct information and be able to utilize the tools that are available.
Absolutely, absolutely. The reality of it all is, whether we like it or not, it's here. So we have to learn how to live with AI, robotics, all of these things, because they're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, we just have to prepare to see what next will be made available to us. We want to take a quick break, and after the break, we want to talk about future proofing for our students. We want to explore some careers that they could possibly be looking at right now. and what are some of the things that they need to empower themselves with in order to take advantage of these opportunities. You are tuned in to the family station Love 101. This is Campus Connection, proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. We want you to stick and stay with us after these messages.
Never did I get through with no work, I did I get desperate. Till one day, I see one ad, but I want somebody for work at a massage parlor. Trust me, the place was nothing like them advertised. From the very first day, I had to be giving much more than massages.
Verify the legitimacy of job advertisements with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. To report suspected cases of human trafficking, call the nearest police station, 119 or 888 PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
All roads lead to New Budget Supplies from now until Christmas.
Yes, sir.
We've got zinc, lumber, tarpaulins, form ply, everything you need to rebuild.
Hallelujah.
Big discounts on UPPVC windows, paints, decorative hardboard, dress ply, and lots more.
Everything,
Open
man,
every
yeah.
Sunday until Christmas. New Budget Supplies, 195 Hagley Park Road. Call 9234560 or WhatsApp 5816165. Remember the name, New Budget Supplies, always the best prices.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the family station Love 101, proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. We are talking about science and technology, and we are joined by our wonderful guests. They have been bringing us through the different, aspects of science and technology and how they are affecting us in our world today. Miss Cavell Hilton from STEM Builders Learning Hub Limited and Dr. Watson, Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council. So we want to look at future proofing and making sure that our students or young people are ready to, go into the world of work. It's not just about becoming doctors, lawyers, teachers anymore. It's very multifaceted. Dr. Watson, based on where you sit and the organization you oversee, what are some of the career paths that are out there that are available now to our young people, and what are some of the things that they need to do to take advantage of them?
Well, in terms of career path, to begin with, and I have a philosophy. If you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So before I get into the different options of career, one thing I would like to say to your listeners, especially your youth, that are on stream, is to try to discover themselves and find out what they like. In the early parts of their academic career or even their professional career, try different things so that you can see what you're really passionate about, so you don't really have to work a day in your life, and what you're doing is full of purpose and can give you full satisfaction and not just a compensation. Because trust me, the compensation most times cannot afford you a good quality of life. With that said, and that in consideration, careers, the traditional careers will still be there. Most of them will still be there. Those technical, hands-on, physical type careers, those are still there. Though you're talking about your electrician, your engineers, your technical and mechanical engineers, civil engineers, those will still be very relevant. Your architects. Now, looking at where the world is going and in a more digitized world where digitization is becoming very important and a part of our daily lives, you're looking at those careers where you're looking at programmers still will be relevant, although AI is shaping up to support that a lot immensely. You still will need programmers, you will still need data scientists, you will need persons to look at governance and management, looking at policy around digital world. You'll need a lot of persons who are operating in a governance perspective. And now back to my side of the world as it relates to science. All the science careers will still be extremely relevant. between
All right, say that one more time. Hold on, say that
all
one
the
more time.
science careers, all the different science
Yes.
disciplines, especially in research, core research,
Mm-hmm.
basic research, applied research, will be extremely relevant.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much of the world that is still unknown. There's so much of the world. When you talk about the ocean, when you're talking about deep forest, when you're talking about just things happening around us every day, climate change presents so many new careers. All the careers in science will still be extremely relevant. What artificial intelligence will enable us to do is to interpret a lot of our large data set more quickly, more efficiently, and help us along the interpretation of a lot of those.
There's a lot to unpack there. But let me go to Cavell to ask her this question based on what Dr. Watson would have said. And Cavell, I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. You deal with our children, you deal with our campusites. Based on what you do you think that our current education system is setting up our young people to take advantage of these opportunities? And if they are not doing that, what are some of the things? Give me about 2 things that they can do in order to open them some more to the world, the reality that we're living in.
Well, I think in terms of our education system, a lot of improvements have been made over the years. We know that we're not where we need to be right now, because we know in terms of the scores for science, every year we look at the TEP results, we look at the CSEC results, and we see there is improvement. Our students are doing much better than they used to do in math and in science, but we're still not where we want to be. So I would say in terms of the education system, a lot more work to be done, but we're making strides and we are moving in the right direction. STEM, as it relates to STEM, you know that the NSC curriculum, the National Standards curriculum, is STEM focused. We know that a lot of our schools now have clubs like science clubs or STEM clubs. And so that is the right direction to move in as it relates to ensuring that our students are exposed to the level of technology that we need. We know that there's a lot of coding happening. I, for one, have been in not just the schools, but the juvenile detention centers, teaching or introducing these young men and young women how to code. And this is an opportunity, a second chance for them to be able to be introduced to this level of technology and develop that skill, so that when, as I said, they come a road, basically, when they're able to, be reintegrated into society, they can have that interest, right? So I definitely think that we're moving in the right direction. What are some things that we can do? We can ensure that every school have the resources, things like our infrastructure need to develop. So a lot of schools still don't have a working phone line. A lot of schools don't have internet connection, right? So we can't be saying that we're moving in that direction and we still don't. But here's what. I've been working with Digicel for, the past 9 months or so, doing the Safer Internet Together campaign and looking at cybersecurity, cyberbullying and those things with the students. And that's also something that is important, that we ensure that we let them know that the internet and the tools and all of these things are important, but they have to have a sort of responsibility as it relates to it as well, in terms of how they use it. So I think we can continue along that line, build out our infrastructure and ensure that we have policies and certain programs in place, like the SIT campaign program and coding and robotics programs in our schools, and continue to build those out, the science clubs, all of that, to ensure that all our students, not just a few, are exposed to the tools and the things that they need. And also we have to empower teachers. Professional development of our teachers is, and the teaching resources that are available at the teaching colleges, those things are extremely important.
Absolutely.
If I could,
Yeah, man, sure, jump in.
On the
Oh,
point.
I need Doc, you can also share, seeing that we're running out of time, you can share some of the things that you have coming up with the Scientific Research Council.
Okay, no problem. Just to add to what Cavell said, and also to commend her and her organization for what they're doing to help augment what is happening in the classroom. Because the reality is, while some we have seen improvement, it is not enough. The curriculum changes is not happening fast enough, The methodology of teaching and teaching the various concepts is not relatable to the present age and the present style of how our students learn. We're still doing a lot of what we always did, and it needs to change much faster in keeping with the learning style, learning exposure that new age students have. I mean, a child from 1 year and a half knows how to navigate a cell phone, and you're still in a space where you're using lucky for the ones who have whiteboard and dry erase marker, but
Yes.
still talk on board. So we have to change the methods, we have to change the delivery style, we have to change how we school. I'm seeing situations in other places where the students' contact time with a teacher might be 2-3 hours for the day, and the rest of the 5 hours that they're at school, they are uncovering, doing self-taught exploration, and then discussing and that is leading to a more rounded, more critical thinking individual. Because we're raising adults, we're not raising children. They're children now, but we're raising them for society. So we really need to step up and speed up how we are delivering our education. The whole education system, in my personal, and this is my personal opinion, not that of the SRC, need to be revamped and be renewed. That's my personal opinion. I have 4 young kids. The oldest is 9, the youngest is 2. So this is something that I have a personal interest in. As it relates to the SRC does support science and technology and support schools in different various ways. We have over 100 science clubs right across the island, and as a target for the team leading that initiative, we have a target to increase that number by at least 10 each year, so that eventually every primary school, every high school in Jamaica will have a science club which we can use. And we also have a STEM ambassador program where we have persons practicing STEM persons attached to a school so that they can give that practical hands-on support. And I must commend Cavell, because while she was at the SRC, that was a program that she initiated. That was one of her babies, and it's going extremely well. As it relates to the SRC and what we're doing, we have a lot doing. Just today, we had a discussion with the Association of Science Teachers to see how we can strengthen our relationship, strengthen our collaboration, to pour into the cups of the teachers to further enable them, because we know what it is that they have in their schools. We know how limited resources are, and therefore we're pooling all in our network together to lend support to the teachers. Because if your teachers are empowered, if your teachers are exposed, then it can only mean good things for our students.
Wow. Cavell, what about you? What's going on over STEM Builders?
Wow, a lot is happening. Right. So as I mentioned before, we are working with DCS, Department of Correctional Services, for their coding and robotics course for their, Rio Cobra Juvenile Correctional Center, South Camp Road Correctional Center, and hoping to also be able to implement this program as well in the adult correctional centers. Right. We're also working with Digicel Foundation, to big up Digicel, of course. Working with Digicel Foundation for their Safer Internet Together program. We're visiting over 150 schools across the island. We're about 90 schools now. We're going to be in Portland. So evening, Melissa, we're not stopping, right? I do want to take this opportunity, though, to say that, a lot of the schools were damaged during Melissa, but I see it as an opportunity for science and technology to be able to bring forth some of the innovations that are needed for us to rebuild and rise again. So I want to ensure that when we're having the conversation about Jamaica moving forward, that science and technology is at the forefront of that. So I definitely want to just slip that in, right?
Carol, we're having a conversation in science on the 27th of November at Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, where we're pulling together critical stakeholders to discuss exactly what you just said.
All right. We are so excited about what's going on in science and technology. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. Cavell Hilton, founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub, and also Dr. Watson, who is the Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council. We are so very grateful that you would have taken the time out to be with us here inside Campus Connection this evening, and I want to wish you all the very best. We are out of time this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the team for everything that they have done to make this evening's show a success. We want to thank our guests for being a part of this show, and to you, our wonderful listeners and viewers, thank you for making it Campus Connection. That's it for our show this week. Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. See you next week as we explore more things while going on campus. I am Jonathan Fletcher. Take care.
Here to the Family Radio broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. The time is now 6:30 p.m. And it's that time of day for us to check the temperature for Kingston and Montego Bay